Hello there. I've gone live on this particular video to condemn the utterances of PS, Foreign Affairs PS Macharia Kamau, on his utterances that Ndege sio matatu. His statement even saying there are more than 3 million Kenyans out there, and so the government cannot afford to evacuate all of them, is totally misplaced and uncalled for. It is true there are so many Kenyans out there, and we are happy and we are not asking the government of Kenya to intervene in any way. What Kenyans are more concerned is the mistreatment of Kenyans and Africans in China. And again, nobody told the government to go and evacuate. I don't even know where people are getting this idea of evacuating people. What people wanted to is a government of Kenya to issue a stern statement to China to start treating their people right and with decorum and with decency. China cannot use the coronavirus pandemic as an excuse to mistreat other nationals. For PS Macharia, even to try to ridicule the Kenyans who are suffering there, instead of issuing a strong statement condemning the actions of the Chinese. There are very few Chinese who are doing that. It's not usually everybody, but the government of Kenya should be sending a message. I felt abused for him to say we are 3 million, and so they cannot run matatus to come and get us. Nobody has said we need to be evacuated. We work, we live comfortably in the countries we decided to move into. But we cannot sit back and watch as our fellow Kenyans and Africans are being abused in a foreign land. The purpose and why countries usually have consulate and embassies abroad is to stand up against such kind of actions. So I decided I'll do a video to condemn those utterances of Mr. Macharia. Whoever will find him say, Thiong'o Gichuhi said he's out of order and he should realize that Kenyans everywhere, and that's why people usually travel with their passports, they deserve the protection of their government. Sitting there and telling people they cannot run airplanes like matatu is siding with the oppressor. And it sends a very bad message to the Chinese and to everybody else out there that Africans cannot protect their citizens if they are being abused. We have, anyway, going out of the country is everybody's choice. But just like a parents, make sure that if you have children, they'll have to go out there and play and learn and live with others. But if you find a bully who is bullying your own son, you have a right to go and tell them, stop it. Let my son live, play, and grow like everybody else. What is happening is China is like bully. Someone is bullying Kenyans. And what we expected from CS or PS Macharia Kamau is to send a message that we are not going to sit back and see Kenyans being abused, terrorized, harassed, and mistreated. So for him to go out there and issue a message like we are crying all over the world, where the 3 million Kenyans are spread across, was out of order. If public servants continue talking and acting like that, it doesn't send any message. It doesn't send any good message. That gives Chinese the leeway to mistreat Africans. We are happy where we are. The law is very clear. You cannot mistreat someone. In fact, in UK, it's illegal even to go public on anything to look like racial discrimination. But some countries, it is still happening. So what everybody would have expected from the Kenyan government is a statement to stand with Kenyans and to tell them to reach out to the embassy and the consulate and air their grievances. But for him to issue a statement that the airplanes and they cannot land airplanes like matatus, going places to places to evacuate Kenyans, was totally out of order. I felt abused as a Kenyan resident outside of the country, I am a leader of my community in Yorkshire regions. We have not called for the government to come and help us. We are happy. We are keeping an eye on each one of our members. And we know how we can reach our embassy if we needed any help. But those who have called out from China, they needed to hear their government is standing with them. There's nothing bad like a child who is being abused, calling out to the parent, and the parent just throws his hands out. That gives the bully the right to do more. What PS Macharia has done is to throw Kenyans in China under the bus. They don't know who they will cry to, and they must have felt fairly let down. I think there comes a time that the government need to start taking its people seriously. PS Macharia is just holding the position courtesy of the president. He doesn't even know where his children will finally end up. Nobody knows where your children will end up. They might even also decide to go and live in another country. And it will not change. When you leave your country, whether you are the son of President Uhuru Kenyatta, if you are black, they will just see you as black. They will not even care whether your father was the president. So his children could find themselves in China. China is becoming the next global power. They could find themselves anywhere else, but his actions can come to haunt his own children in future. It's totally uncalled for. It's not a sign of leadership. He should be ashamed. And I say this in the strongest terms possible. Kenyans abroad have a right to be represented by their government. There's nowhere it says just because we left the country, we stopped being Kenyans. We have our own rights. We can petition our consulate wherever we live. But we don't expect the leaders in Kenya to throw their hands and portray us like busybodies, crybabies, or just people who don't know what they are doing. The Kenyans in China. We all saw that video that was trending of the Nigerian consulate guy in China. He went straight where the abuses were happening. And he made his point across. And I'm sure now Chinese know they cannot play with Nigerians. And that's what you would have expected from the Kenyan government, to send a clear message that you can harass others, but we are going to stand with our people. To make such kind of statements, to talk like that, I felt it was totally unacceptable. And I felt abused as a Kenyan who flies the flag of the nation high here in England. We have our own community. We are not asking the government to come. We can afford. In fact, the moment they open the airports, all those who suspended their travel plans will visit their country. But what we cannot allow is we start getting abused here for whatever reason, and our government make it sound like we do not deserve to speak out. So Macharia Kamau, CS for Foreign Affairs, the ambassador in China, you all need to up your games. Nigeria showed you how it should be done. All you need is to send a message. In fact, there are so many Chinese in Kenya, so I'm sure China is more concerned about any of those things going far, because it could affect their interest in Kenya more than Kenyans' interest in China. I don't even think those Kenyans in China, they have anything apart from maybe students and some working. But China needs Kenya. They have so much investment, and they would feel it. If Kenyans rose up and started chasing Chinese out, the Chinese would feel it more than Kenyans in China. Kenyans in China, I don't even know how many there are. I don't know what they are doing there. But I'm sure even them, they were not crying so much about being evacuated. They were just calling up on their government to issue a statement and to condemn what was happening, just like that Nigerian consulate did. I just needed to make that statement. Thank you, guys. God bless you.